everybody, it's KayBeast, and for this week's art video I am doing the Draw This In Your Style challenge, or hashtag Draw This In Your Style, and the character that I am drawing is named Candle, and she's, I believe it's a female character, was created by @Ozumi_wizard on Twitter. I basically just scrolled the hashtag Draw This In Your Style on both Instagram and Twitter, and waited until I found a character design that I thought was really interesting and that I would be excited to draw. So I picked this one. Candle's character design is very interesting. Her head's floating, and she's basically just a human candle, you know what I mean? Like, her dress is melting wax and her hair is fire, and it just seemed really interesting. I'm like, oh, this will be fun to paint. So yeah, so I did a little sketch on my mixed media paper. I didn't want to use like a big sheet of watercolor because I knew this would be quick. And then I inked it in my Pentel Pocket Brush pen because I wanted to make absolutely sure that the ink I used was waterproof, because I knew I'd be using watercolor and ink and stuff. And then this background thing I'm doing here is I'm doing a wash with my new Sumi ink. I wanted to see how it would act with water when it was diluted, because I hadn't actually painted with it yet. I had to paint with water around the actual shape of where her fire hair would be, because all of my masking fluid dried up because I haven't used it in a long time, so I need to replace it. So that's something I gotta do. So I basically just outlined the area with water and made sure the hair section was dry, and then just dropped the ink in it. And I did this because I wanted to give the illusion that, you know, her hair was emitting light. So I did like a gradient effect where it's lighter, where the ink is lighter and more diluted closer to her head, and then it gets darker as it goes out. I actually had to do a few layers of the Sumi ink in order to get the areas where I wanted to be really darker, because when this has a little bit of water with it, it does lighten up considerably. It also dries kind of patchy. You don't get like an even tone of black or even gray when you work with it. It dries in a very interesting way, which I really liked. I also really liked how this effect when I used the paper towels to kind of clean up the edges. I liked the feathering that it did. So I'm definitely going to have a lot of fun painting with the Sumi ink with water, because it reacts differently than Higgins India ink, which is what I'm used to using. And I think it's just because it's a different kind of ink. This stuff is vegetable soot, basically, in some sort of suspension or binder or something. And yeah, it reacts very interesting when it dries. I also used my heat tool to speed it up because I did this all in one sitting. So I imagine applying the heat to it and forcing it to dry faster probably had an effect on the texture of it, but it's an effect I really like, and I definitely got to play with this stuff more. It's a lot of fun. I was originally thinking of pulling out my watercolors to shade in her skin, because it's sort of a brown, but I really liked how the ink worked, and I thought it would be fun to have the only color be like the actual fire parts. So instead I made her, I just made sure to shade her skin darker using ink wash, and then I added shadows to her actual body, or the dress, of the wax or whatever, to indicate shadow from where, you know, her light, the light from her head is emitting, basically, and under where like the actual melting drops of wax, which were kind of fun to draw. It's very fun character design. The actual reference picture that Ozumi Wizard posted has her standing on this candlestick holder thing, but I didn't really have room to fit that on my paper, and I knew painting that in I would have to make it gold or colored as well, and I thought that would unbalance the piece, because I knew it would mostly be grayscale with just the hair, so I decided to leave it out. And then the actual hair I did with watercolor. I just used 3 colors. I used I think I used 4 actually, 3 yellows and an orange, maybe 2 yellows and an orange, I can't remember, it's been a few days. But I just layered it until I got the gradient that I wanted, and then I went over with my Uniball Signo white gel pen and a little bit of my fine text, because of course I gotta use my fine text and everything to add a little pop of shine and stuff. And I also did the same thing with her eyes. So yeah, I don't know if this is a little late to the challenge. I know this challenge has been going on for the past month, but I had other videos already planned in advance, and I really don't like to mess up or change things up when I've got things planned out, because it helps me stick to a schedule. So I knew I wanted to do this challenge, at some point. And I thought it would be fun to do and something easy. And I actually painted this ahead of time. I painted this almost a full 2 weeks before this video even came up, because I was just really bored one evening and just kind of decided to draw and decided, hey, why not look into this challenge and sketch and get some ideas for when I feel like recording the video. And instead of sketching and leaving at it, I just wound up recording the whole thing in that one sitting. So yeah, but yeah, it was fun to do. I do have a Draw This in Your Style challenge submission of my own. I'll put it at the end of the video, and it'll also be on my Instagram and my Twitter. So if you guys wanted, it's not a character, like an original character of mine. It's just some random girl that I painted one night when I was bored. Basically, I don't really have any finished pieces of original characters of mine that I feel would work for the challenge, but it was a little portrait study that I did that I think could be kind of fun. So if you guys want to do that one, please let me know. Reply to the thread on Twitter with your own image if you do it, or tag me on Instagram or Twitter if you do the challenge with my own submission, because that'll be fun. I'd like to see what you guys do. But yeah, this was a fun challenge, and it was an interesting character design. And I really like playing with the Sumi ink. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun using this stuff from now on. So yeah, and that's the I'll have a link to the actual original piece to this on Twitter, as well as the artist in question as well. So anyway, that does it for this week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will put up the image that I submitted in question here, and then there'll be links to the actual Twitter and Instagram posts as well once they're up. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!